To sew on a button, you will need a needle, thread, a toothpick, and your button. To measure your thread, hold it with your 2 fingers and take your second hand and put it to your elbow. That is the length of the thread that you will need to sew on a button. Now that we have our correct length of thread, go ahead and thread your needle. You should put your thread in half after it is put through the needle, and then we will tie a knot in this end of the thread. Be sure to tie a double knot at the end of your thread for extra strength. We are now ready to sew on our button. First, we will take our marked piece of fabric of where the button is going to be going. Then we will take our button and place it on the top of the fabric. Now we will take our needle and thread and place it on the back side of the fabric. We will be poking it from this side of the fabric all the way to the front side through the buttonhole. Once the needle is poked through, we'll pull it all the way up and pull it tight. Now we will be making our first stitch. Make sure that your button stays on the marked fabric piece. Now we'll take our needle and poke it through the second hole, and we'll push it through all the way back to the back of the fabric, and we'll pull it tight. Now your needle should be poking through on the back side of the fabric. This is where our toothpick will come into play. Next, you will take your toothpick and poke it in through the hole that was just created by the string underneath the button. Then you will take your needle and thread and pull it tight once again with the needle in place, with the toothpick in place. Now you will continue to make stitches, and about 5 or 6 more stitches with the needle there. So we'll come from the back to the front, pull it through, make a stitch, go across, and pull it tight. Make sure to pull it tight each time. Then come back to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back, until you have enough thread that it looks like it will be strong enough. Now at this point, go ahead and bring your needle and thread back to the front side of the fabric without coming through that hole this time. So we're going to bring it through just right by the button and the toothpick, but not through this hole, up to the top. So just as close as you can get it to that toothpick, and then pull it to the top. At this point, we can take out our toothpick, and we should have enough room between our button and our fabric for our thread shank. To create our thread shank, wrap your thread around the button 5 times, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we will take our needle and thread and poke it back down to the bottom underneath side of the fabric and pull it through. Now we are done with the top side of our button, and we just need to finish it off by tying some knots on the back. To do this, you will take your needle and thread and tie a knot by coming around, picking up a small piece of fabric and poking it through the loop you've just created and pulling it tight. Do that at least 2 times. So around, pick up some fabric, put it through the loop, and pull it tight. You now have sewed on your button so it's strong enough to do its job, and then just go ahead and cut off the excess thread and you're finished. A perfect button.